Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2 India Edition, where we're looking at the brand new streetcars that we added in the last episode, which now extend from Bangalore all the way from Arcot to Puducherry, even from Bellary down to Chudapar to Nellore. And in doing so, we've also built the train stations, which will be situated here when we eventually build a brand new route cutting all the way through. A brand new commuter line. Now, these lines are running pretty well. We did add more kind of streetcars in towards the end of last episode, so I'm not fully expecting them to have made a profit yet, but it looks like they are currently running at a profit, which is really, really interesting. Really interesting. And our Bang to Pud one, which is this one here, is making the most money out of any single tram line. Okay, it was until this one took over. Damn, I think that was always taken over, wasn't it? Yeah, I think so. But the Bow to Now one is chunking up as well. So we're doing pretty good, boys. We are doing pretty good. Now, today we're going to continue the expansions. I want to look towards what we did a couple of episodes ago where we extended the high-speed train line up to Nagpur. What I want to do is give them more of a reason to travel up here. Now, although this is going to be a great city and a city to watch with how it's going to expand, it's not fully connected to the wider region. Also, we do have this big train line tearing through, which there's not really much I can do about this because it does come off a cliff edge. This might hinder the growth of Nagpur unless they kind of start growing on this side, but that's something to kind of worry about in the future. What I want to do is give them more of a reason to travel here, thus meaning we need more connections for public transport leading to Nagpur. So I'm thinking the 4 surrounding cities here, the 4 closest ones, we're going to connect them up to Nagpur, bringing more people, more radius of passengers to this station. So our high-speed train line, although it's doing pretty well, we want to make it do even better. And we might possibly put a 3rd train on the line if needs be. So guys, welcome back to another episode. If you are enjoying the series so far, make sure you smash that like button down below. I can't complete this line until we've unlocked the elevated train stations, which I'm hoping will be at some point soon in the future. But the expansions are coming in thick and fast. We are now making quite a bit of cash money in Mirror. You can see the big profit margins I'm now getting. Let's try and keep it that way. So subscribe, like, all that jazz. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it right now. So we're pretty much going to set up like we did in Bangalore down to Arcot to Puducherry and Bellary and so on and so on. And very similar to what we did in Hyderabad. Actually, pretty much identical to what we did in Hyderabad. Here, we currently have 2 tram lines that go from there, 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 and then one from there, there, there. And what they all do, they all crisscross at this station here, which allows us to connect to the train station and create a vast transport network. And we want to replicate that over here. But I'm going to do Nagpur. I might do it a little bit different to how we've done it previously. I might build a tram stop either side. It's all dependent on if the 2 tram stops can connect. So if we go to a bus and tram stop, if I make it really big, tram tracks, we want yes on that and make it super long. I'm expecting a lot from this. So if I build and place this in directly outside the train station, bam. What that allows us now to do is to have the connections to the road either side, so it gives us a wider radius to where we can pretty much work with. Now, because we have no buildings here, we've got nothing to lose. I want to see if I can kind of squeeze in another one here. So by building one either side, does this one connect to that? It technically doesn't. So if you were to get off here, you technically can't get on to there. So what, again, I might do is bring in the trams to connect to both, like do a double stop. This is what I mean by we're going to do this one slightly a little bit different. And I'll come back to what I mean momentarily. So we've got the station set up. And what we're going to do is we're going to set it up where we have a stop here that goes all the way into Nagpur. And then it comes all the way down to about Harsha. And then back again. And then back to Burhanpur. So it'll be doing this back and forth here. Now, these 2 towns will do the same, but they crisscross at the 2 stops there, thus connecting between the 2 lines. If you want to go there to there, you come in and you go down that way. I could also make it as a triangle, but it doesn't really work on that one, so we just kind of keep it simple. But also, it connects to the train station, so they can hop on and off the train to get out of here, and anybody from anywhere else wants to go to one of these towns, they drop off there, hop on the trams or streetcars, and they do exactly what they need to do. So that makes life a little bit easy for us. It's just, I'm going to do this very different to how I normally do it, so bear with me a second, boys. Bear with me a second right now. So here then, we need to sort out a couple of tram stops in each one of the towns. Now, they don't need to be as big as what I've just created, like a free wide kind of section. So first things first, let me just extend the road. I should really be turning player ownership off and all this stuff. I don't want to pay for their upkeep. And then building wise, I can actually get a free station stop, which is not the end of the world. I suppose it kind of future-proofs us for if the town grows a lot bigger and stuff like that. So, okay, that works out fairly well. That works out fairly well. Now, I could do the same thing here, and we're making sure that it touches both the roads either side because that gives us maximum connectivity and will give us the ability to reach the wider area of the town. That's what we're hoping for anyway. So, Rideshaw, you're looking pretty good. You're done. No, it's Tarzai, is that how you pronounce it? I'm really bad at pronouncing place names. You guys should know this by now. But I'm going to run this road going up. And I'm going to run this road going up as well. So we're kind of preempting the city growth. But the main point is to kind of get it situated to a point where I can kind of drop a tram station directly in the middle. Right. Hopefully the towns don't grow too big and the traffic's not that bad that it becomes a hindrance. We'll drop this one directly here, providing we can do... It is a little bit of a slope. But it does connect either side, so that's perfect. Right. I'll let the cities grow however they want to grow, but we've got all the tram stops now down. So all I've got to do is now upgrade the roads. So tools, we need to electrify all the roads right now. Is it electrify? It's not electrify, is it? Is it electrify? I'm not too sure if it is electrify or not. But it's basically dropping the tram roads in. So you're into there to there. And like I said, I'm going to do this a little bit different. So I'm going to create this little kind of almost like a tram roundabout. But I'm not sure how this is going to play out. I'm not sure. Bring this down to here. There, there, and there. Now, you still might be confused about thinking, what is Seniac even talking about right now, this tram roundabout? Why is he going to do this different to how he's ever done it before? Well, there's 2 tram stops in Nagpur right now, which normally in the other towns and cities, I've only done 1. And you've got to base this off. Right, that's all done right now. You've got to base this off what I've done in Hyderabad, where we've got the 1 here, and they all link into that. But what I'm doing is creating the 2. So as a line comes in, it stops there. It will then go around and stop there and then come back out and go down. It's a way for that same line to kind of pick up people on both sides of the city. But I'm not sure if it's worth it because, let's be honest right now, they could get to here and walking into there, but technically it's not highlighted to connect. So it's weird. It's fine for the train station because they can go pretty much wherever they want. But I don't know. It's an interesting one, to say the least. It is an interesting one, to say the least. So let's create these lines then. It could be worth it. It could be the worst thing I've ever done in my life. So make it so it's able to go onto every single platform. This gives it the ability to, if there's a tram already there, they can pick another one. Bring it into here. Same thing again. And then once it gets to there, I'm going to make it go to here. Now, in some form, it kind of makes sense because if you lived over here, for example, and you wanted to get over to there, you could hop on a tram, walk around. You know what I mean? It works, but it doesn't. So this is where I'm a bit kind of, what's the word I'm looking for right now? There's a word I'm looking for. I'm a bit wary, and that's not the correct term, but you know what I mean. I'm a bit wary of doing this. So it will be interesting. So once he's gone to them 2 and then gone down and then go back again, like I said, I feel like it might be slightly excessive and then go back to the top again. We're all okay. So I'm not too sure. It's trial and error. If it turns out it's not going to work and it's a bit too much and it's no sense in having it both sides, then fine, okay. I could have maybe pushed them back a little bit, but I want them to have a good connection to the train station and a quick connection as well. So the only thing I want to do right now is kind of sort out some waypoints. Is it possible with the waypoints here, if I put you there and then you there, because I want this side to take this way and then that side to take that way so we can kind of visually see the split. So once it gets to nag central, sorry, to lower, it would then go and, oh, not a new line, you fool. Add station, and it will go this way. Right. So it goes to there, that way, and then it goes out. And on the way back, it goes to lower Nagpur to Nagpur Central. It would then go here. Where's the waypoint? That then makes it avoid going this way, so we can kind of split the difference, if that makes sense. So we'll kind of have to do the same on this way, but I think because that was technically the short distance, this line might naturally go that way anyway. But if I pick you, and obviously make sure it can do every single platform, and it comes into you and then goes to you, it naturally does that anyway. So that saves your boy a little bit of work. Right, and then off it goes up to here. And then back again, and then back again, and then it will kind of finish up going back that way. Right. So this is trial and error. It's a little bit of a test run. So let me just get this back done, and then I'll explain it one more time, just so we all know what's going on. So basically, right, we've got the two lines now all set up. The green line, that bam, bam, pinky purple line, bam, bam, bam. You see how it works. But the idea here is, right, it allows us to give us wider coverage. So that's as far as the radius goes for that tram line. Now, if I didn't build this one and kept it as simple and the same, going to this one and off they go, yeah, they'll crisscross there and it's all good. But if you're living over here, there's no way for you to interact with the tram lines unless I put two additional stops there and there, there and there, for them to go out. So what I'm doing is essentially creating two hubs on both sides. So when the town grows over here as well, they can all lead to this one. And they're all intertwined and connected with the train station being in the center of the area. I don't know if it's going to work the way I'm expecting it to work. But if it does work, that's going to be great. If not, at least we understand. We'll delete one of them and just carry on with our lives like it didn't even happen. That's what we can do. That is what we can do. So we need a tram depot then. So building wise, where is it? Sorry, buildings, tram depot. And I kind of want to build it out on the outskirts of town a little bit. So I might just kind of throw it in just here. There we go. Just on the outskirts, out of the way of any city growth. Don't want to hinder anything. Now, we need to buy some trams for it. So I'm thinking we buy 4 for each one. So let's see. If I go by capacity, we've been using these Ivan ones, haven't we? So if I buy 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, which will be for line 1 there, and then these 4. Hold on, we gotta wait for autosave. God damn it, autosave. The bane of my life, but also the savior of my life as well. Right, come on, autosave. 2. Okay, so I won't name them because they're not finalized, these lines, just yet. We'll just see what happens. So we'll give that some time and just see the benefits. I want to see how many people are waiting either side, because you'll get some, right? And why this is kind of beneficial. If you're wanting to go from Burhanpur to Itarsi, you go down here, you get off the tram there, and then you hop on the other tram that then goes this way. So it makes commute between these two a lot more efficient. But the only way to make it more efficient is actually making a tram go back and forth here. But I'm trying to filter everybody into Nagpur to the high-speed train line. That's what the main goal there is. So we're going to have to like allow that to do what it's got to do. In the meantime, I kind of want to look towards building a new commuter line, or at least getting it in place. So we'll let that kind of now just simulate. Give it some time for the trams to go back and forth. and then we'll see where the passengers lie. So, if you cast your minds back to the first couple of episodes, we built this food run here to make us some money, and we set up a little bit of a tram line here that goes from Balguam through Hubli to Anantapur into Bellary. That's what we set up, and for the most part, it's actually done pretty well. If I check at the tram line one, finances, it does really well. It does really well. Now, eventually, that will be deleted and replaced with different form of public transport. Now, we do have this left side commuter line doing nothing in Bangalore right now. Now, what it could do, because it kind of currently stops just there. So this could come out like how this commuter line does right now, goes from Bellary to Raichur to Bezwada. We can make this one come out, bend, to have a first stop here in Anantapur, then take its next stop in Hubli, and then make its way go on the way to Balguam. Or it could kind of run down into Goa. I'm not sure how that's going to work with the terraining. It makes more sense to go this way. So that will be from Bangalore going north. It's a 3-station stop on a commuter route, which is actually pretty good. But then going south, I can make it go through Mysore. And then I've got the option to either make it go to... I can actually make it end at Mangalore. So it's kind of like a little bit of a bendy route, bendy horseshoe. And that could work out really well. That will connect a few more places up and bring them to Bangalore. And it will also then enable me to get rid of the streetcars that are currently running to these cities or towns here. And just make it a lot more efficient. We'll make more money with trains, and thus freeing up the traffic on the road. That could be the way to go forward. Now, I'm not expecting to build it this episode, but it'll be nice to lay down some of the foundations. So I think what we'll do is we'll figure out how we can make it go up here, bend round, and have our first station here. We'll build a station there, and we kind of get it in place to how we want it to look. So the question is, which side do I get the station on? Now, whatever side I get it on, it all determines how the train line is going to crisscross and interact with this area in general. If I had it on this side, I've got to bring it and keep it on this road. Or if I had it on the right side here, it makes it a little bit easier to run a train line in to then take a train line up and out. But then again, it doesn't matter, but the train station will be more central here. So I'm thinking it will be better on this side, thus meaning it's going to be a little bit of a chaos. Right, okay. Okay, we're going to have to cause some chaos here. So first things first with the terraining, we're going to smoothen the area off. So smoothie, and when I say smooth it off, just get rid of all the little nooks and crannies. It's sometimes easier to build the road connections. So lead you all in, because then you have like a square that you can play around with to kind of flatten the region. So, okay, they're trying to build already. Let me pause and just delete that for a quick second. Sorry, guys, I know you want to grow, and I know you're very eager right now. But I'm going to be building a train line tearing through your whole town in just a moment. Ease up with the eagerness. Do you know what? I'm going to have to delete this, because it is going to go through here. So we'll use that moment right now to just smoothen this off. We'll actually go for it might be easier to flatten it. Alright, we'll just do a nice quick little flatten. So that flattens it, and then all we're going to do right now is just simply use this radius to smoothen it all out. So it won't be flat. It'll be a nice little gradient on a hill is the best way to pull it. And that'll make the ability to build our train stations feel so much easier. So bring all this up here. Smoothing all that down. Alright, I think we're now going to be okay. So it's still bumping one. Like, you're never going to get it perfect, but it's a better gradient to than what it was once going to be. So it's going to make life interesting in terms of now creating the bend. I don't know whether to keep it underground or whatnot. That's going to be interesting. But let's try and implement a train station here. So I won't press play just yet because they will try and build some roads that I've now just kind of technically oofed out the way. We'll keep the train station pretty small, and I reckon I can go right to the edge, or I can kind of pull it back a bit. So for example, if I put it like this, because I can build a small road leading into it. And that is, what I feel is as central as I can get it to this area. So let me just quickly build the station up. So track-wise, we're going to have our little bypassing tracks for cargo to run through when it's trying to get to another town or city. Place you in. And then get the cargo platform just there. And then normal platforms. And then we need the underpass and the shelters. And last but least, we'll get in the couple of buildings we need for both sides. So it's not as central as you would maybe like it to be. Do I try and push it over? The only downside is you can't just move this as a whole object, which is super annoying. Also, does that eat in enough where we could maybe create a tunnel? Because it hasn't got to be central to the whole area. But I'm curious right now to see if I can maybe implement a small tunnel. So if I really reduce the length and number of tracks 4 and spin this right round. I know I can't because of the buildings. We always got to get rid of the buildings. But too much of a slope. 67. Too much of a slope. 72 works. And then what about on this side? Because that then kind of like... No, okay, right. It doesn't drop down enough. It doesn't drop down enough, which is completely fine. But that's a lot nicer, isn't it? Because I know we're kind of going up slightly. That begins our overpass. Here, we'll have to have that one as the passover. And I'm a bit concerned about this here, but let me just see what it would look like if I built the road. So the road in question, I could pick it from here and then do the same here. And it's, ooh, I forget the where this has to be. I kind of, you do forget how far you can bring this up. So to there. Okay, right, sweet. So I want it just to the side. This here just to the side. And a little connection there. So that'll do us fairly well. Actually, that one side now doesn't stick out as much as I like it. Oh, that's a bit better, isn't it? Oh, hello. Right, forget you then. It's all of a sudden become so difficult to build a road. Right, fine. That will do. That will do. Okay, boys, that will do. Now, this is... Is that straight? Oh, it goes uphill. That's why it feels really weird. I've got the option here to kind of play around with some stuff, but that road leading in is not particularly straight, like in alignment. Well, it doesn't need to be if I simply utilize this as the grid. It doesn't need to be, but it kind of throws off the alignments altogether. So you're getting this weird kind of setup right now for this town, which I'm not particularly a big fan of. But that's all because of how I've placed my train station. So the issue is only my issue. I don't want to say it, but I feel like I might need to delete my whole train station. Right, at least we know what's going on. Okay. At least we know what's going on. So, where is it? Building train station. Why is it all now flipped around? Right, so that is... Would you say that's aligned? Not perfectly. That's as aligned as you're going to get it. We're going to do it by... No, we keep it the same length. Now I've got to kind of figure out where this would now go. So if I base it on here, being the center, I'm going to go there. Right, that was a random guess. That was a random guess. So tracks, platforms, buildings. Oh, I feel like it's now more over this side, but I won't complain at this, okay? I won't complain at this. It will do. That will do, pig. That will do. Right, so platform-wise, you're in there. The underpass just there. The canopies all in. And then, of course, the track constructions with the tunnel. Just going in there. Now, what I might be able to get away with this time round is, yes, I can maybe change how the alignments of the roads work. So if I get rid of all of this and we kind of completely bypass this whole area. So if I go here, that runs all the way up, touching that. I create a new line for the road. Now here, not so much, but it doesn't have to be because I can utilize this for something else. That is a main drag of road. And of course, building a road connection here. Although it would work, it creates a sliver. Now maybe that can be the unique selling point to this area maybe. And then we just kind of build you coming off. So we get like a unique style of buildings building through. So, a bit different to what I would normally do. Little bit different. We're smoothing around and let the city now decide how it wants to navigate my improvements. Or my quote-unquote improvements. So, I can't get a tunnel system here because the road is too low and it doesn't dip down enough. So, that's going to go across. So this is above ground. So let me just kind of... We'll put it back to play mode once I figured this out here. So it's going to try and rise itself up. It doesn't need to. So I could choose just to simply... Oh, I can't do anything other than what it's doing. I could bring you in. Bring you in. Cross you now over the train tracks, which that's how it's going to have to be, unfortunately. We can smooth in the edges to make it not seem like it's such a big hump because it gets rid of the land shadows. And then we've got to figure out where this is going to go, but we do need to do the crisscross as well. So that now, I can put it back into play mode and let the city now just figure out what in the world's just happened to itself before it tries and continues. So I could bring this through and I can make it pop up to the same place. And where does... Can I run down... I can run down this. So the question is, do I run it so close to it? Or do I run parallel with it, but not parallel with it if we get rid of the line that actually touches? Wow, that's really annoying as it builds these little tiny bits. So it looks parallel, but it's not particularly parallel. And maybe I'll come off by one more. Right, I've come off by one more. So it looks like it's equal spacing between the two lines. That's fairly interesting. It's just this. So that would cut there, but I like the idea of it going across that road as a bridge. See, now my mind's changing. So if I pause and get rid of you, and the idea here is to try and keep this as low sinking as possible, which I think by redoing that might be the case. Or not. So I think it might try to be eating into the dip. So rather than the dip, the connection still doesn't work out. So what if I raise? I'm trying to wonder how high I've got to raise it. Because you want it to happen on the bend. Right, that's where you're getting it. But there's a bridge pillar expansion issue. But you're okay if you're there. I think the aiming goal here is to drop the road a bit more. So, kill you off. I don't really want to kill that off, but I'm going to have to. Because the idea now is to bring it as far as here, but already start to have dropped it down. So your connection there also drops down. And then this bending ground has also dropped down quite considerably. So at this point now, we raise it up. And I think it might be because of we're trying to do it on such a bend. The bridge pillar expansion stuff just doesn't like to play ball with us. I can make the turn a lot tighter to kind of work with it, but this bridge pillar, you can't get double. You can't get double. That's so annoying, isn't it? If I build to there... Oh, you're joking me. Right, kill you off. Because sometimes building in smaller segments means you can get around some certain stuff. But it looks like it's not the case here. Right, delete you, delete you, delete you. Oh, hello. Isn't that crazy how you can just slightly change nothing? You literally change nothing. You just change the order in which you build something in. And then you're all okay. Right, that's now all gone across. That doesn't look too bad of a bend. And it all filters in together as an alignment. So let me just get the tools back on right now for sorting you out with the... I've upgraded the streets to the tram tracks. What am I also upgrading here too? A different style of road? I'm not too sure. But that all now takes place. That is now wonderful. And I don't want to smooth it into it too much because I like the harshness of the edge. But I'll smoothen around here. So for the city's own benefit, we've had to kind of slightly hinder it. But that gives us our little train connection there. So all I've got to do now then is just figure out where I want this to pop up by. So if I did the same thing again, we create a bend, and then I do two more. And we wait for autosave. Like, I feel like that's all we do at this point in the game. Because we took two away to get this alignment. So do it again. To there. Alright, delete, delete, delete. So we know that aligns all okay. So you push this to here, this to there. And then visually, it's not the best. with the tunnels because they all look staggered. I think once I've got more time, I might try and sort those out where they all align perfectly as they come out. But it looks pretty cool, that little train line now running through. So push you out. And we all know that it's 2 tracks wide going all the way through. So it looks like it's all part of the same line when you kind of zoom out. But it's not. It all reaches the same station and reaches the same end goal. But yeah, the little kind of bumps and dinks and stuff like that are all based on how this line kind of runs through. Right, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. So the same thing will have to happen in Mysore over here. Now, the train tracks are there, so it would have to be on this side of the road. And unfortunately, we're going to have to do some more deletings. So they're not going to like it. And I really hate doing it. I really do. But I'm going to base it off of this here. So going on a straight run. Which I'm assuming that is now a straight run. Yep. Which would help me with the alignment there. Let me get right into it. There we go. We'll build the train line here. So we should be able to get this a lot more even than the last one. Buildings. Flip it right around. So is it a case of I have to come slightly out, or do I build it right against the edges? Let me build it there because I'm less likely to destroy them buildings here. So if I build it how I would normally build it, I just want to see if I'm able, or how close I will be getting to here. So buildings wise, I can technically go for a larger building for the sake of reaching the edge. And that would fit perfect. I've just had to go for a larger entrance on the one side. So let's finish this off then. And we'll do... Oh, I didn't do the crisscrosses. I've just remembered the crisscrosses on the other train tracks. Right, we'll get to those in just a moment. Alright, platforms. Cargo, cargo. The underpass, which will go here. The canopies. Right, before I do forget, let me just get... Actually, I don't think I have crisscrosses here either. So to there. And crisscross is happening there. Crisscross happens here. So let's just do it there. So that mimics that one there. That one's further down because it has to filter in. So here, just after that, we'll try and implement them here. Right, the slope is hindering this one. So we'll come a little bit further back. Still causing us issues. Alright. That is the straightest part of the bend. If that made any sense, that was the straightest part of the bend. So we'll do some signals real quick. We'll do a set just here. I'm going to do a quick set just here because it is the commuter line. And a set just there on the crisscross. Right. That's fair enough for us. That's all done. So I haven't got to worry about that no more. So here, ideally, if I could drop a tunnel, which I'm going to have to destroy that building there. If I could drop a tunnel here, because we have to go underground anyway. So that saves us a lot of headache and issues. And we've got to drop down there as well. So I feel like it's a case of I make it go underground and it will pop out at some point as it's going downhill. So pop you there. I can go back into play mode, by the way. I don't need to worry anymore. So that is completely fine there for Mysore. And then with the train tracks, all I've then now got to do, if I can get the right angles to select it, which that bends round into there. And then this It's only a short stop now I'm looking at it. Into there. But of course, we've got to do a crisscross. Which we're going to have the same issues as the last one. Just getting that on the bend. But then again, we've got to also bring it into this. So where this kind of comes in, and I've got to do a crisscross there, I've also got to do a crisscross there. So is it worth me having them utilize the same crisscross with how close this is? Or do you reckon that doesn't make sense at the moment? Right, next idea would be actually deleting this and all of this, going back again. Oh, they're trying to build a road. Can you not build roads, please, when I'm trying to build here? Rail connection, track connections. So getting this back in, but shortening the distance after the underground bit. And I think the setting is underground pre-adjustment. So if I reduce it by 40 to 40%, I think that means that the track here is now shorter. So bending that into there. So I've got more room now to kind of swindle in the connection there. So I could do a crisscross here as short as possible. And then here, it starts about there. So if I go there, and then this one's not going to work, is it? Oh no, it does. So it gives us this small bit here where a train can kind of utilize itself on, but I'm not confident in that. So I don't know whether to put a signal there or not. I'll leave it for now, because the other side is I can shorten this tunnel quite dramatically as well. So we'll have to think about that. But without doing anything else right now, boys, I've created this little additional commuter line, which will then run off into its other cities and towns, which that's going to work out really well. Right, this is going to annoy me if I don't do it. So let's do it. Let's do it. So track constructions, we've got to make sure that we drop it down to 2 and we've got the right length, the same length as the other ones. So I think it might be a 75. No, is it a 70? Is it an 80? Ah, it was an 80. So with an 80, you can see that we've shortened it dramatically, which then would mean the bends taking place now would be completely different. Right. And the height might be completely different as well. So that's into there. That's down to there. So we're hoping here. Yes. So I think I'm now confident enough that I could put a signal down here now. So just there. And of course, just there. And that covers both my crisscrosses. And you wouldn't even know we've had to adjust it and make it really, really short. That's worked out really well. Like, really well. So they're ready to expand then. They're ready to kind of go to their next towns, and we'll probably finalize and finish them up in the next episode, which then does mean I can then get rid of the tram line here and replace it with this brand new commuter line. Now, has enough time passed by where we've now seen the trams over here spread themselves out? But it looks like, yeah, there's 2 people waiting there. There's a couple of people waiting there, so they're using it on both sides. But I don't know whether enough time has passed by to the point where... Are they stuck behind a horse and cart? Oh, no. They're stuck behind a horse and cart. That's the only downside, isn't it? I could widen the road, so, you know, they'd take priority and they may overtake or whatever. But... it's all part of the funsies. It's all part of the funsies. I don't think we've given enough time because we were paused for so long. So there's the 2 new lines. I'm not going to name them until we've kind of finished them up anyway. But this sets up quite nicely. We've kind of unintentionally made Bangalore currently our biggest hub, with the amount of lines that are going to be coming in and out of it with trains. Unintentionally, we've done that right now with the small commuter route this side, the one that we're now building next, and the high-speed train line and the tram lines running to it. Interesting. Now, Tumkur just there, we could maybe set up another tram hub here and then run it a line that way. Who knows? You know, there's plenty of stuff we could do. Or maybe we kind of connect Mysore and Hubli up on the same commuter line with trams back and forth. That could also work as well. There's many ways in which we can kind of play this. There is many ways in which we can play this. But there is a lot of people waiting on that at Bangalore right now. So that's kind of interesting. Hi, Derabad. There's a lot of people wanting to go to Bangalore here. So I think the high-speed train line might need a fourth train. How busy are you? Only 18 on you. To be honest with you, they could just need higher capacities. We did recently kind of add them, like 3 in-game years again. We kind of adjusted them slightly. How busy are you? You've got 80 people on board as well. Right, manage the vehicles. We're going to edit them to implement an additional passenger wagon on them. So let's do it by capacity. Add, add, and add. So that adds 32, 38, 48 more people on the line over the 3 trains. Before I go ahead and add in a 4th train. Is what I'll do. I mean, how many people are waiting here for the high-speed train line? Okay, fair enough. The Bez line as well. Do you need upgrading now? How many people are waiting here for the Bellary? You know, there's a lot of people there. They do take longer now to kind of get round because of how long we made this commuter line. I might manage these vehicles. We'll edit these. And we're currently using, in terms of the Steam part of it, let me do it by... Let's do it by build date. So these are the latest ones. I'm sure we're using the Russian PV. Or is it the Russian PV? Yes. Which the Russian PV is 180,000 a year to maintain. I'm not worried about all the other statistics because these trains down here are going to be a lot better. Right. The Russian Class OB is not too bad. Actually, where's the PV? It's 64 kilometers. The 10-wheeler, we'll be able to pull a lot more, but it's a lot more expensive. But it'd be able to pull a lot more carriages. So let's say I was going to replace these 2 trains with a 10-wheeler, which does 100, which is so much more speed than we actually need it to do. But be more about the power of it. It's the most powerful one we've currently got. So if I add you and then passenger wagons, do it by capacity. Now, the trains currently carry 65. So by doing it up to 64 is the same. 80. 96, which will make it the same as the high-speed trains. So I think we're bringing it down to 80. We'll replace it first and foremost. So how many does this one now pick up? So 28. Where are you currently right now? So that's completely wiped out Trichinopoly right now. And then we'll see how we get on. They'll be a lot faster, so they'll complete their routes, but they will be a lot more expensive. But we should be able to pay for it at the time being. We've just got to get all these people moved first and foremost. So where's the other train? It's just here. It's completely wiped out Bez. And it will wipe out on the way to Bellary right now. So that should make some differences. That really should make some differences. Right, signals are all in. They're all in place. This here, we'll kind of bend it down and bend it in. I think we'll probably utilize this line here, this run. So actually, I can actually make it utilize this side here. So it kind of frees up all that area, but it might be too much on the outskirts of the town. I'm not sure, but that's for next episode anyway. So what I've got to connect up is 3 more towns to it. And we got a secondary commuter line. It's pretty good. Right, how are we looking over here there in Nagpur? Are we starting to see more people making their way over here? So charts, loaded, unloaded. We should see the loaded and unloaded start to increase as there's more now kind of connections leading out. There's a train on the way, which is slowly chugging slightly up the hill. The tram's going around. The line's not that far from making money. But the biggest hindrance right now is getting stuck behind a horse and carriage. That's our biggest problem right now with these trams. So streetwise, I could increase it to a larger street. Which will be one of these. Now, does that give it 4 lanes? Oh, hold on. I've also got to do this, like a fool. Why can't I do them at the same time with the upgrades? Oh, electric. Tram track, yes. So, if I do it on these roads, it would stop the trams from getting stuck behind horse and carriages. Now, granted, I can't do it everywhere, but I'm not worried about it being everywhere. Especially on this one here. I can't do it on this one. So what I'm thinking of is if I brought you down as a connection to here, right, and confirmed you, I can at least then upgrade you. And then the rest is history. So on where it matters the most... Oh, I've got to do this side as well. On where it matters the most, which is the bulky road, the longer road... Right, I'm going to have to delete you. Because you're now in my way. That's where we can kind of speed things up slightly. On the skinnier roads, once I get to the inner town, I suppose it doesn't really matter that much. But at least they can kind of speed past the horse and carts. Look at that one. You can see the speed difference right now. It's gone. It's out of here. So that will kind of make it a bit more efficient, but there's only so much we can do. I can't bring it in anymore because it will hit the edge of these buildings. But I'm not too worried about it here. It's such a short distance, they won't be stuck behind them for long. Oh my god, they make a world of a difference now, doesn't it? It does make a world of a difference. So we should see some improvements going on shortly. Should see some big improvements going on. So in terms of our lines then, oh, we get new vehicles coming out. Oh, okay, so in terms of our lines, every line is now making profit, including the 2 new tram lines we just set up. Oh, new train, new engine, new steam engine, boys. Oh, new carriages as well. Oh, did we take it? Do we re-look at our high-speed train? Oh, new box cars. Wait, is this new everything? This might be new everything. Right, okay, so the grain line, manage the vehicles. If I now replace these 3... Oh, this might not be a good idea to replace them 3. Because there's not much wheat on the platforms in general. Let's not play around with that line. The wood here is definitely one we can upgrade, so manage the vehicles. Let's replace these. So the steam engine on them is... I don't think the train exists anymore. I'm not sure. Let me do it by speed. No, let's do it by build date. I don't think that train exists anymore. Manage the vehicle. Edit. How do we find out what it is? Oh, no, it's this one. It's the Russian class T1. Okay, right. Got you. Right, select all. Replace. It's this one here. 55. Okay, gotcha. So by build date, we've just unlocked the A35. A lot more expensive. But the power on it, oh, Yes, please. The power on that right now. I might not do that one. Although it is a lot of power required. It is a lot of power required. We'll go with that one. Add you. And then cargo. If I do it by capacity. No, not capacity. Type. Right. And then we need it to carry the wood. So we're currently utilizing the small ones, which is the flat card stakes. We carry 8 by the looks of it. We can now do 12. So they carried 70 each. These are going to carry 120 each. So it's an extra 50 per train. Let's replace those bad boys. So these can definitely now go a lot faster. And then I wanted the same with the oil trains as well. Where are they? Here they are. Here they are, boys. So the crude oil line going back and forth here. We're going to quickly replace these vehicles. So steam. I'm going to go with these. The 3.5s. Cargo. 12 capacity tank cars. And so 3 of them, we're looking at about 120-ish. So I'll give them a 180 capacity. That might be a bad idea. That might be a bad idea. Right, how fast can they... I mean, they're now increasing their speed, so they are going faster. It's doing 60. I shouldn't really watch that one. I should watch this one. Going 63, 64. Will they get to 100? No, it's 80. 80 is the limit of the trailer. Right, that's amazing. 180 capacity, that's dangerous numbers. That is dangerous. And then the other oil route here, we're going to manage these two. And we're going to replace these with the exact same setup again. So the 3.5s, cargo, but we'll go a lot bigger. $240. We've gone 240, which we're either going to make a ton of cash, which is amazing, or I might be picking up more than what we're producing, which then eventually they'll start losing money. It's like with these now, are they picking up too much of the platforms that efficient and that fast? They're picking up more than what we're producing. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. But everything seems to be going to plan so far. We'll see how things change in the long run with these new vehicles. But there's plenty of people waiting. Are the number? Okay, look at that. The numbers of loading and unloading have increased because, one, they can load more passengers because there's more connections, and we can unload more passengers because there's more connections. So that's worked out really well as well. We have done pretty well, boys. Small little improvements should go now a very, very, very long way. So, yes, I've spent so much cash, right? But in that same year, we made the most amount of cash we've ever made. Now, this year, we should make even more with these new trains. Hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, please smash that like button down below. And until next time, I see you all soon. So, goodbye.